Hi everyone, I'm Mallory, and I'm here today with Erik to give you a look into the world of ad exchanges. For our agenda today, first we are going to define an ad exchange. What exactly is it? What does it do? Then we're going to look inside the LUMAscape and see how it interacts with other players. Following that, we'll look at how money flows through this process, who makes the profits, and finally, we will look at who today's top players are. So first, what is an ad exchange? An ad exchange is a digital marketplace for publishers to sell and advertisers to buy advertisement impressions, typically using real-time bidding or RTB. Essentially, ad exchanges are the middleman between advertisers and publishers, where an advertiser can buy from multiple ad networks. Little history, DoubleClick is arguably the first ad exchange. It was established in 1996. Interestingly, Google actually bought it in 2007 for $3.1 billion. So that gives you some insight into how powerful these are. Now looking inside the LUMAscape, how do ad exchanges work with other players? Who uses ad exchanges? We have the supply side platform, SSPs. So just to recap, it's a technology platform that allows publishers and media owners to manage their advertising inventory. So fill it with ads and receive revenue for that. DSPs, demand side platform, the software that advertisers use to buy this inventory that publishers put out. Advertising trade desks, ATDs, these are agencies that use DSPs to facilitate programmatic ad buying for their clients. And then ad networks. It's really important to distinguish the differences between ad networks and ad exchanges because they're often mistakenly used interchangeably, but there are differences. Ad networks are typically organizations playing an intermediary role. They aggregate publishers' ad inventory and sell the inventory to advertisers, collecting a commission for their service. So I think that the best way to think of this is ad networks are the stockbrokers. They are facilitating the sale. They're offering groups of ads to satisfy a specific need. On the other hand, you can think of ad exchanges as the stock exchange. It's the automated selling and buying of inventory. So an ad exchange is a technological platform rather than a company, and it offers more control to and greater transparency for these sellers and buyers. Advertisers can see who they're buying from and how much they're paying, and publishers can see who is buying from them and for how much. You just have greater transparency. You're able to go directly to these websites and suppliers, see how much you're paying, and then use this information to optimize your campaign. Advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, it's done in real time. It's done in milliseconds. It's super quick. You have a wider variety of space to populate. Say an ad network has 1,200 publishers in their network. An ad exchange can connect you to multiple ad networks, so it just widens your reach. Typically, ad exchanges don't have these premium ads that are generally sold internally. So they have lower CPMs, which is nice for our lower budget buyers. There's more price transparency. Like I said, you can see exactly how much you're paying where. You have more targeting options. You can really nail down on who you want to be seeing what. And also there's detailed analytics and reporting, so you can take all of this information and really optimize your campaign. Disadvantages, again, they generally don't provide premium ad space. Additionally, because there is so many connections, it's impossible to track all sellers and buyers. Buyers with smaller budgets are at a disadvantage because of this real-time bidding. If you don't have the money to continue to bid higher and higher, you're going to lose the space. But because there are low CPMs, you can find your place. And additionally, analysis data can be inflated by bots.
So there's three main types of ad exchanges. The first one is an open ad exchange, which is pretty much available to everyone, and any publisher or advertiser can be on it and bid on it. And so the main limitation is that it limits how much information is available on the advertising spots that the advertiser is bidding on. And it also limits the conditions that the publisher can set for the advertiser, like the quality of the ad and things like that. The second one is a private ad exchange, and it's a closed platform where publishers control who is allowed to bid on their advertising spots. So for example, if an advertiser doesn't align with a publisher's company values, then they won't be invited to bid on that ad. And this has a lot of advantages, like helping to prevent bots and third-party buyers from buying ad spots and then reselling them for a higher price. And then the last one is a preferred ad network. And these are individual relationships that are set up between a publisher and a single advertiser usually. And normally the space is sold at a fixed price for a duration of time. And this is really nice for publishers because they have consistent income and don't have to worry about price fluctuations of their advertising spots. And this is generally a relationship between two trusted companies, and they really want to work together and their values align more than most. So then making the big bucks, who does an ad exchange make money for? So ad exchanges make money for both publishers and advertisers, but in different ways. So publishers obviously are getting that money from the bid that the advertiser is making. This fluctuates quite a bit, but publishers on average in Google's platform got to keep 95% of the generated sales revenue from their post spots. So that's a really good price margin, I guess, and they're paying a pretty low fee to post. And then advertisers also make money just like other digital advertising, but that's very dependent on their advertising goal. So if their goal is conversions, then they're probably making direct money from the ad exchange. However, if their goal is reach, then they're just building brand awareness and that's what they're paying for. And so then how does the ad exchange make money? So every ad exchange is different and they obviously have their own little niche features that attracts customers to them. But most ad exchanges have a setup fee for publishers just so that they can go in and verify that all the spots are correct and the information and the publisher is legit. And then and then they also charge a commission to both publishers and advertisers. And depending on the ad exchange platform, some of them charge the full commission to the publisher and some of them charge it to both the publisher and the advertiser. And then this commission can often be based on the dollar sales of the bid, but also on sales volume as well. So the most common buyers from ad exchanges are ad networks, trading desks, and demand-side platforms. And then so for today's top players in 2020, although this has changed a lot in the past 10 years, we have Google Marketing Platform and Verizon Media are the two big ones, but the other logos you see on the screen are also very notable competitors that serve very niche features that attract customers to them. And they're all very different in their market offerings and things like that. And so who's doing it best? There's no one leader in this space anymore. A lot of the times the features that are advantageous to publishers may not align with the features that are advantageous to advertisers. So for example, a publisher is probably looking for low commission rates on their spots to keep the most amount of revenue, but advertisers are probably looking for high quality spots and verified ad space, which is then causing a higher commission to be charged. And so just like a lot of tech in recent years, there's been a lot of acquisitions, brands or rebrands and bankruptcies. And so for example, DoubleClick, which we talked about earlier, was bought by Google in 2007. And then recently in 2018, it was completely rebranded and integrated into Google's overall marketing cloud platform. So they no longer have a separate service for this ad exchange, and its features are just integrated in with all the rest of their marketing tools. And so this is kind of happening all over the space. And this encourages a company to, rather than like choose an ad exchange they want to work with, they're kind of sucked into using the cloud ecosystem that the rest of their company uses. So for example, if your whole company is using Google's cloud infrastructure, then you're most likely also going to use Google's cloud marketing platform and thus this ad exchange rather than going to an individual one. So then just to recap the process, so using the New York Times as an example publisher, they likely have an internal sales team that sells their revenue with no commission, but they can't sell all of that ad spot inventory. So then the remaining spots are listed on Google's ad exchange, which offers a variety, and the New York Times would then offer a variety of positions, sizes, content, all that information that they provide to Google, which Google then verifies. So then Coke's advertising account is also set up through the Google Cloud Platform, and it has set a list of parameters for ads that it automatically wants to bid on and has set its budget. And so then it begins bidding on these ads, and Google manages the bidding in real time against other advertisers. And Google's job is to ensure that both the publisher and the advertiser meet each other's criteria, so that things like, for say, a car commercial isn't paired with a story on the New York Times about a car crash, or matches that would just be inappropriate. And then Google then sells the ad space to the highest bidder and charges their commission for doing so, and pushes the ad to appear on the New York Times website. They also facilitate all the payment. So instead of Coke paying the New York Times directly, their money would flow through Google to the New York Times. And all this happens in a couple of milliseconds and does not impact the load time of the page or anything that you're seeing on the internet. And that's everything about ad exchanges. Thank you.